Welcome back to Feel Better with Lauren. I'm Lauren. Thanks for joining me. I really like the saying or the philosophy that you only get one chance to make a first impression. I like it because it's really easy for me. I'm always meeting new people, and all I have to do is put my best foot forward, and hopefully I resonate with them. But sometimes that first impression is not the best impression. Sometimes where other factors are involved and you just don't come across the way that you'd hoped. And that's when I think that people deserve a second chance. Sometimes people need a lot of second chances because we're not fixed in who we are. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to try something new. You're allowed to try something again. You do not have to be the way that you are when you first meet someone. You can feel better. One of the things I love about this yoga journey for me is that yoga is infinitely adaptable. And it doesn't take a lot of time, it doesn't take a lot of space, and you can immediately start feeling better from it. The poses are adaptable so that if you're not feeling strong enough, you can usually drop your knees or you can take an easier version of any pose. And I'll try to point those out as we go along. But the biggest thing that it does is that in a very short amount of time, if you consistently do things, you'll get your body and your brain and your breath all working and in line. And that will help you in every single thing that you do. It'll help you at work, it'll help you at play, it'll help you get a better sleep. Like, it's just brilliant. So if you take a spot, you put your mat down or a space around, wherever that is, wherever there's enough room. I'll sit at the back of this space and cross-legged. And it's nice to sort of start out things and just sort of feel what's touching the ground. Feel which leg wants to go over what, or however you're feeling. That sort of getting grounded and focused on things, and you'll see actually where your body needs a little bit more attention. As you move around, just even a little bit, I sort of think like it's like the wind blowing you around. You can sort of feel where your body's resisting. And as you've taken a few breaths there and sort of focus and attention, we can breathe in through our nose, a big breath in, and we're going to breathe out through our mouth all the way. And as we always do, you carry around this residual air in your lungs. It doesn't move around a lot unless you push it all the way out. So what we want to do is replace the entire air in your lungs. So in through your nose, and then all the way out until there's really nothing left in your lungs. And in through your nose again, and all the way out again. And in through your nose. Fill up all that cavities of your body, your chest, your diaphragm, everything, and all the way out. Now the rest of this time, we'll do what's called ujjayi breathing, and it's basically focused breathing in and out through your nose. The best way that I've had it explained to me, which I always say, it's like you're fogging up a mirror, but you close your mouth, and that restrains the back of your throat. And that allows you to focus your breath a whole lot more. Each breath should take about 3 to 5 seconds to go in and out. You're going nice and slow, like you're in slow motion. And so let's just take a few moments here and just breathe in and out through your nose as slow as you can. One last breath. Focused breathing anytime immediately lowers everything. It lowers your blood pressure, it lowers your anxiety, it lowers that heightened sense. It can relax you. Even if you're in a heightened state, you'll be in less of a heightened state. From here, let's put our hands above our head and stretch up and try to get as you breathe in, make it so that your spine expands. And as you breathe out, hinge at your hips and fall forward and touch the ground in front of you. And as you breathe in, as we say, we make some space, and as we breathe out, we fall into that space that's created, nice and slow. And as you keep breathing, for me, I usually end up with my forearms are on the ground. And it's not straining or stressing, it's just letting them fall. One last breath in. Relax as much as you can. Now just push yourself up. And if you're sitting cross-legged, cross your legs the other way. And again, your arms above your head. Expand your spine as you reach up and then hinge over. And see how this feels differently. And last breath in. And then slowly push yourself up. These few simple moves can just start changing the way your body feels and the way your breath feels. Now roll over your knees and go on the back on your toes, and we'll stretch out the back of our feet. Again, this is things that we I often do because it's just things you don't get to stretch, especially if you're sitting at a desk. Even if you're walking around, you're in shoes, stretching at the back of your feet. And you want to have a sort of intense feeling, but not a painful feeling. And if you spread your hands out in front of you, and we can move forward and backwards with our breath as we go forward as far as we can until we feel that feeling of stretch on our wrists, but no pain. And then back, we can feel a stretch in our feet. So we just move like a wave. One more inhale forward and exhale back. Now rotate your hands around so your eyes are facing forward and your fingers are facing your knees. And just sort of move a little bit until you feel your wrists having a nice little stretch and up your forearms. And you should still be stretching your feet. If you want to have it less intense, move your hands closer to your knees. And the further you move them away, the more intense the stretch is, but it should never hurt. Intense doesn't mean hurt. Intense just means you can feel it a little bit more. Now the last thing is put your fingers facing the sides of your mat, a little bit, a couple of inches between your wrists, your fingers spread apart again, and your feet should be feeling it a bit right now, hopefully. And as you move back and forth here, you'll stretch the side of your wrists. You can go in circles or however you want to feel. And this you have to be a little bit careful because it's your wrists, and we're just getting a little bit of stretch and blood flow to them. Last breath in. Now stay on your toes if you can and come up and just check out your wrists. Hopefully you're really feeling your feet right now, but in a real good way. And we'll give them some relief a little bit as we put our knees apart, as our big toes together and come off of our toes. our hips go back right onto our heels, and then let's crawl forward into this child's pose here and stretch out with our forehead touching if we can. Some people like to have their knees close together. I find that I can't get my belly down. And I sometimes lift up my hands and just get a little extra stretch and just sort of relax into this. You can feel the stretch on your hips a little bit because you don't want to come off your heels. And you can feel a little stretch on your upper back. Last breath in here, all the way out. Now, almost in the same pose, we come out to puppy pose, which is our knees underneath our hips, our hands forward, and we try to get a nice straight line from our wrists all the way to our hips here. You sink your head and your chest down to the mat. And you can feel this stretch is just a little lower than that child's pose. You don't have to come down quite this far if you don't want to. You're just trying to get that stretchy sensation. And one last breath in and out. Now, so walk yourself up and forward into tabletop. And that's with your wrists below your shoulders and your knees below your hips, like a tabletop. Your hands nice and spread apart, out. Your finger sort of facing the front of your mat, and you're dispersing the weight above it. And we'll just do a little bit of cat-cow. So you can see that we're sort of rippling and sort of gradually stretching our entire back. So inhale, drop your belly as far as you can and stick your butt up in the air. And then exhale, tuck your hips underneath, separate your shoulder blades for cat, like a scared cat. And inhale for cow, exhale for cat. Just a couple more times, moving with your breath and getting a good rhythm going. One last time, inhale. One last time, exhale. Now move our hands just a little bit forward, again keeping your fingers nice and far apart, and go up on your toes and sort of push forward up to plank. Now you don't have to come up off your knees for plank if you don't want to. You want to separate your shoulder blades. You want to have your hips at about the same height as your shoulders, but if you want, you can keep your knees on the ground. Whatever's giving you that sensation of pushing the ground away, like the ground is coming up to meet you and you're pushing it up, pushing it back. And get yourself nice and sort of sorted here and stable. Now, what we're going to do is put our toes together, and you're going to put your left hand to the air, and you'll do a side plank. I feel like there's a string on your hips that's pulling it to the sky. You can use your top foot to support you and balance if you want. If you want to, you can bring your leg up into the sky. One last breath in, And your left arm can go down to the ground and go back on the other side and go into what's called a wild thing, where your back leg sort of puts forward and you go out. Last breath in, and back to plank. And as you can imagine, just get ourselves sorted here for 2 secs. And we'll put our hands together and do the other side. So our toes go together, left arm down, right arm up, side plank on that side. If you want, you can drop your knee down, get a good stretch that way. Last breath in, and your right arm goes down. You do a wild thing on this side. So your left and the side of your right foot. Just trying to get a good reach here. One breath in, and then back to plank again. Get yourself tidy and stable. And then you're going to push forward on your toes, on your wrists, as far as you can, and slowly, slowly drop yourself to the ground. That's as slow as I could. And then into Sphinx pose, which is your elbows below your shoulders, and pushing up. Keep your butt engaged here. If you're feeling it a lot on your back, then you can spread your legs further apart. If you're not feeling anything, you can push up to seal, which is with your arms straight and your shoulders away from your ears. I'm going to stay down the Sphinx. So. And the last breath in, you're going to put your left arm on a 45-degree angle, reach around, grab your back foot. As you get better, your heel goes closer to your butt. As you get even more better, you can rotate your palm so that your fingers are pointing your butt. I'm not there yet. Just keep pushing yourself out of your left shoulder. And keep that breathing nice and slow. Last breath in. Let go of your foot. Go down. Your left arm goes out. And then your right foot again bends. And you push over to the side. Less intense is when you put your arm down by the side. More intense is if you put your shoulder in a cactus position. I put it straight out. That's where I like it. Last breath in. And exhale, roll back. Just move your hips around, make sure nothing's locking up. Now push yourself up. Your right arm on a 45-degree angle, your left arm bent, and push up out of your right shoulder. You sometimes find one side is a lot more flexible than the other. The same stretch can feel different when you stretch it on the other side. Just think about that. Think you're breathing, keep your breathing nice and slow. And say focus into where you can feel that stretching. And as you focus in when you breathe in, you can relax that area and breathe out and sort of fill into that relaxation. Last breath in. Slowly let your foot down. Your right arm this time is going to go to the side. So your left leg bends. Push over that way. Last breath in. And then roll back onto your stomach. Just roll your hips from side to side a little bit, just so nothing's locking up. Then go on your toes if you can, or else you can go back to that happy baby with on your knees. I'm gonna lift my thighs. I'm gonna go on my toes, and I'm gonna go back up the way I came down. So slowly push up to a plank. Now I'll go back into downward dog. So again, keep your hands nice and wide open with your fingers pointing the top of the mat. And then make a good, nice straight line from your wrists to your shoulders to your hips. You can pedal out your feet a little bit just to get everything lined up. Let's just take a few moments here and sort of settle in. Get that sort of downward dog action happening. Keep breathing. Try to relax into this, even though it might feel intense. Now we're going to raise our right leg to the air for three-legged dog. Nice and straight as you can. Bend it over and just stretch out your hips. And then inhale, go up on your left toes. And bring your knee to your chest. You're just holding there, separating your shoulder blades. And then you're going to put your foot through and go down to a low lunge. Your toes pointed in a little bit so you can see at least your first two toes. You can feel a good stretch in your hips, your arms above your head, like you're holding a beach ball. Try to tuck your hips underneath. Keep breathing nice and slow. One breath in. Left arm forward, right arm back. Use your torso to turn. And inhale, keep your arms straight. Put your left arm to the ground, up on your back toes. Got a nice little twist going on here. And we'll bring our left leg forward so we can do the seated twist. Your left arm above your head, your right arm behind you, and then exhale, hook your left arm over your knee. And you're not forcing, you're just relaxing into this. And each inhale in through your nose, feel your spine sort of like floating up. And then exhale, maybe you twist a little tiny bit more. just incrementally, and only so it feels good. And last inhale in, and exhale forward. Plant your two hands inside your right foot. Go back to lizard lunge. Sort of push it out. And we'll try to open up your right foot a little bit. You can go on the side, whatever you feel is needed to sort of gently stretch yourself and open yourself up. And inhale, exhale, back to plank. Tidy everything up, nice and stable. And then once you're tidy, go back to downward dog. Just take a moment. Now inhale, put your left leg to the sky for three-legged dog. And bend it. And try to touch your butt with your left leg. Inhale, go up on your right leg and bring your knee to your chest. Just holding it there, pushing the ground away. Keep your shoulder blades apart and then step through. Now, on this, my knee, I often have knee challenges. Big guy, done a lot on my knees. So I just always am mindful that I don't want to push it. So I find the right spot where I'm getting a good stretch, where I'm not putting pressure on my knee. I don't want it to hurt later. Arms above your head, like you're holding a beach ball. Find that spot though for yourself. I'm not pushing through pain at all here. Inhale, your right arm goes forward, your left arm goes back. Using your torso to twist. Inhale, you drop your right arm, keep it straight, off your back knee, and you're twisting, reaching to the sky with your left hand. Now your right leg is going to come forward for a seated twist. So your right leg comes forward, your left arm goes behind, your right arm goes to the sky, and then hook your right arm over your left knee. Maybe it's your wrist, maybe it's your hand, maybe it's your forearm or elbow, and maybe it changes. Last inhale in, and exhale, take both hands, plant them inside your left foot, your right leg goes back. We're lizard lunge on this side now. Inhale, your other foot goes back into a plank, and then to downward dog. Now this time, you're going to walk forward, or float, or hop, or do some handstands. I'm just going to step forward, And I'm going to end in a forward fold here. I'm going to hold onto my elbows, use that weight, sort of relax and sort of ragdoll it. You can have a little bit of movement if that's what you're feeling. Hands can go to the ground, then do your shins for a halfway lift. With a nice 9-degree between your legs and your back. Inhale, exhale, do a forward fold. Inhale, do a halfway lift. Exhale, do a squat. Your feet pointed out just a little bit. Your triceps in your knees, and you put a little gentle pressure on your knees. Try to keep your back as straight as you can. And just sit here for a moment. You can always be in a ball if that feels more comfortable. You could go onto your knees. You could also just do another pose if you don't like this one right now. I find this is a good sort of moment to rest. Roll out my wrists a little bit. Roll out my head. Plant your hands on the ground in front. And you can either go into a ball and slowly roll up. What I like to do is plant my 2 hands down and put my butt up into the air. So inhale, my butt goes into the air. Exhale, I slowly come up. And then inhale, my arms go above me. And my hips kick out. And then exhale to that prayer position. Inhale again with your arms and your hips out. And then exhale, sink back down, either to a ball or to that same squat. And we'll roll back gently onto our butt. And towards the end of a reverse tabletop with our feet pointed in the same direction as our hands, push your hips up, dig in with your heels, put your head wherever is comfortable. Keep breathing in and out through your nose, nice and slow. One more inhale. Exhale, set your butt down by your heels. Inhale, get your chest to the sun. Exhale, sink back into your elbows as much as you can. Inhale, chest to the sun. Inhale, chest to the sun. Exhale into your elbows. And then inhale, reach as far forward as you can. And then grab your feet if you can on the way down. And we're going to roll back down to happy baby. If that's comfortable for you. And just sort of let your elbows go on behind your armpits or to the side of your body. You can grab on behind your thighs. You can grab onto your knees. You can grab onto the outside of your feet. And you can move around if you want, but I'm just going to let my knees fall down as much as they can. Last breath in. I'm going to put my feet together and do a supine butterfly. So Just hold on to that. If you can hold on to your knees, onto your hips. Just let everything relax into this. And inhale. Put your knees to your chest and squeeze. And hold your breath with the air all out for a few moments. Inhale again. And exhale. Put your feet out to the corners of your space. For this corpse's pose, you're going to have your palms facing upward. You're going to tuck your shoulder blades underneath your chest. And you're going to spend just a little bit of time here. And you can let this video run out. And just stay here for a few moments and just listen to your breath. And really, that in itself is meditation. You can get up and do some breath work if you'd like. But you can also just stay here and let your body sort of relax into this. And we'll see you in the next video.
Always talk to your healthcare professional before starting a new regime. If you experience pain, discomfort, or dizziness, slow down or stop. These videos will become easier each day, but if it doesn't feel right today, go slower or move to another video. Listen to your body.